Okay, hey everybody, welcome. We're going to today go through a quick headstand demo. So, I'm going to show you a couple options for how to get in and out of your headstand, lots of modifications, variations, some strength building exercises, as well as a couple preparatory postures that you can get into just to start to build the strength for your headstand. So, without further ado, I'll go ahead and show you kind of what a basic headstand looks like and then how we get into it. Now, if this is maybe your first time or you're feeling a little kind of unsure of where the balance needs to be precisely, I want you to go ahead and find a wall. You're not going to be using it as much as you actually think. Really, it's more there for kind of the mental security, and then we can work on bringing the headstand away from the wall. But what you're going to do, you're going to find interlaced hands, and you're going to find the crown of your head. The easiest way to find the crown of the head, take the heel of your palm, place it right between your eyebrows, lay the hand down across the forehead. Where your middle finger is, that's the crown of your head. So, memorizing this spot, feeling this, gonna interlace the hands, and I'll break this down more later, but place the crown of the head between the hands, come up to the hips. You're gonna really press, find this lift, and then I like to tuck and press up. So your basic headstand, you're really not finding a lot of weight in the head itself. Most of it, you'll see my shoulders, you can kind of find this collapsed version, or really strengthen here, press up. Lifting the legs, you're gonna wanna kind of come apart. I find the most strength when I squeeze together, so I find the big toes, I press them together, lift, and then to come down, you could pike the legs, maybe you find that tuck again, or keep them out, and come down. So that's kind of your traditional headstand. Now I realize that that's a lot, so before we kind of break that down, we'll find a couple great postures just for building the strength. The first, you're gonna come down all the way to your back, hug in, just shake it out. And then when you're ready, the knees are gonna stack directly over the hips. Maybe this is enough, just working kind of hugging the low belly in, removing a lot of the space that's naturally going to come between your hands and the mat. So squeezing the low back down, hugging the belly in. Maybe you stay, getting your shins parallel. Maybe start to press the palms overhead. It's almost like a reverse tabletop. The gaze is up, and then you lift, peeling the shoulder blades up. The hands are going to want to come forward. Keep them directly up and over. Again, are the shins lifting? Let them be a little bit of an added weight here. Really working on the core. You can stay, or we're going to work into something called dead bug. Great, really effective ab exercise. It's essentially going to be alternating hands with legs. So we're going to tap the left heel down. As you do so, the right hand comes back behind you. Then everything comes up. Then left and right. Up. Alternating as many times as you can. I usually like to set a timer for myself anywhere between 30 seconds and a minute, and just do alternating dead bugs as you're ready. The second thing to prepare, our low abs really need to be engaged when we're coming up into our headstand. We're finding hip stability, we're finding low back stability. So again, take the hands, place it by your sides. This time you're going to straighten the legs. Now again, maybe you stay, doing your best to take as much of the bend out of the legs as you can. Pressing up, you can either point or flex the toes. Doesn't matter as much as the legs need to be engaged. So finding the option where you feel the most engagement. Hands come down. Maybe this isn't enough. Or exhale, you're going to lift the hips, set it down. Now there's a way to do this with momentum, kind of shaking the legs and lifting the hips like that. I want you to find the lift and then control on the way down. Exhale. Slow and controlled. Maybe you come up just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot. Again, just a little lift. or a lot, and come down. So finding your variation, again, you can set yourself a timer, a minute or so, taking breaks as you need them, and then coming up. So those are two great ways to prepare, really sucking in, hugging in the low belly, finding that strength in the abs. So those are some kind of preparatory ab work. Another thing that headstand requires of a lot, and you saw how kind of my shoulders could either be collapsed, pulling down, or lifted, pressing up really strong. It's a great kind of sequence of movements I like to take to prepare my shoulders before any arm balance, before any inversion, but it's particularly helpful, I find, for headstand. So we're going to take a Dolphin Dog. Now, in a Dolphin Dog, as in any forearm pose where you're down here, the tendency is to let the elbows splay out to the sides. By doing this, you're kind of creating too wide of a base, and you're losing the strength because your joints aren't stacked. The shoulder needs to be stacked directly over the elbow to promote kind of the most safety and the most strength. So to do this, you can wrap the arms around the elbows. This is almost like a ragdoll pose. If you're coming up here, it's the same energy. Everything is wrapping, hugging. This time though, you're on the mat, ground down through the elbows, and then flip the palms down. For this variation today, I want you to interlace the fingers, practice what this feels like without widening through the elbows. So finding this, setting this up in the body, and then stepping back first to a forearm plank. Now, you're going to find the strength of the forearm plank first. Tendency can be to pike the hips, shifting the weight back, losing a lot of the strength, or alternatively, to collapse the strength in the shoulders, letting the hips drop. I want you to find kind of a space between those two, puffing up the space in the shoulders. So maybe you come to knees and just practice this kind of scapular motion, lowering and lifting the shoulder blades. Once you've found a place that's sufficiently kind of lifted, pressed up, at the same time I want you to feel the collarbones shifting forward just a little bit. This is going to put the shoulder directly above the elbow, so we're going to align the joints, but you're also going to be energetically leaning forward just enough that you're going to kind of cue in the rest of the body to this lifted, engaged stance. So you're pressing up, but also letting the heart kind of pull forward. The gaze is going to be directly to the hands. Step the feet back. The heels press out. One long line of energy. Now you can stay in your forearm plank, or without losing the strength of the core, you're going to start to walk the feet close up. Now you can stay at any point. Eventually the hips are going to stack over your shoulders, or as close as you can get them. Again, the tendency is to gaze back. I want you to find that active forward gaze. Now you can stay in your dolphin, or find Dolphin Dog, kind of chin touches. So on an inhale, you're going to shift forward, nose or chin to wrists. Exhale, press. Inhale, exhale. I usually like to take about 10 of these. So finding a pace that works for you and finding that shift. What I want you to focus on here, whether you're holding the Dolphin Dog or moving, is not collapsing. So notice how easily I can lose strength in the shoulders. Maybe you even just find this little movement between collapse and strength. Get used to what that feels like. All right, those are some great kind of preparatory postures. When you're ready, you can take those as many times as you need. Maybe work them in before bed, when you wake up. Just finding that strength in your day-to-day and eventually transitioning it to the inversion. So, in your headstand, again, you're going to find the heel of your hand to your forehead, wrapping up this place where your middle finger is on your head. That's the crown of your head. The tendency sometimes can be to roll the chin in too much. That's naturally going to pull your body into a somersault. So, I want you to find that first. Again, interlace the hands, and then find the hands like this. Now there's two variations of the hands interlaced. It's really down to personal preference. They're both safe. They're both kind of secure and stable through the shoulders. It's what makes you feel most comfortable. The first, what I tend to do, is just a classic interlace of the hands, finding this position. What you can do alternatively, if it feels better, is you can kind of bring whatever the pinky is on the bottom, bring it in, tuck it close, so that you're finding more of a flat base, like so. So again, either one, just play around with what feels best for your body. You're gonna find this interlaced position, coming down, maybe 6 inches to 12 inches away from the wall. We're gonna take it to the wall first, and then I'll show you how to do it away from the wall. From here, you're going to pike the hips, finding this dolphin dog or somewhere close to it, and allow the crown of the head to touch down between the hands. Walk the feet close. Now from here, you can find a kick up with one leg. The wall is here if you need it. So if you hit, just tap and lower. Unlike maybe a handstand or something similar, we're really not finding so much of a kick up as a slow controlled lift. Of course, eventually with handstands and such, you will also be finding that controlled lift. But right away on our headstand, we're really just finding a gentle hop, just a little bit, maybe practicing the flexibility and down. Eventually, you'll tap up, finding the wall for stability. Now from here, you could bring one foot and alternate. Maybe find both, slow and controlled. You can find maybe a couple toe taps, whatever you need. And then once you've found this balance, just hold as long as you can. Come out safely, one foot down then the other. And then coming up, I like to shake out, maybe take a gentle side twist or two. Sometimes it even feels good to do a seated baby back bend. All right, so we've done all of that, and you can practice against the wall at any time. Once you've kind of felt comfortable on the wall, you've done it a couple times, you're ready to come to the middle of your mat, to the center of the floor, away from a wall. So, the biggest hurdle with anything, any inversion that you're doing away from a wall, away from some support, is the mental. Your body can do it physically. If you've been doing it against the wall, you're more than set to do it physically with the strength that you need anywhere else. The main challenge and the main hurdle to overcome is mental. So know that going into it, know that you have the strength to do it. And if you're like me at all, it's going to take you several tries, maybe over a couple weeks. For me, at least, it was over a couple months, and that's okay, to get over that mental hurdle. But once you do it one time, I promise you, it's going to feel so great the next couple of times, and you can do it forever after that. So it's really just getting over that first kind of lift, pressing up, and it is okay if it takes you a little bit, or it takes you a couple tries to get there. Just know that eventually you will. So, like going against the wall, you're going to find yourself in this headstand position, preparing, finding your little dolphin dog, crown of head comes down, and then you're going to lift, really pressing up. However you like to do it here, I personally like to find a tuck and then a press. So the legs squeeze high, I'm lifting through the shoulders. It's almost like I could shift a piece of paper between the ground and the crown of my head. I'm squeezing here. Once you feel comfortable in the center of the room, maybe you want to incorporate some ab building or some core strengthening into your headstand. I sometimes like to alternate, crisscross the legs. It engages the inner thighs. It's a little bit of a balance challenge. And then find stillness. I also like to find a pike position, so hinging from the hips, hover 90 degrees, then you lift as many times as you like, and then pike, come down. All right, when you come out of a headstand, Take a couple moments first, just in a hero's pose or a cross-legged position. Deep breaths, hands can be up. I personally like to take one hand to chest, one hand to belly. Open mouth inhales and exhales. I just like to take a moment, really feel grounded. Feel the hips or the legs anchored into the mat. With a headstand in particular, I like to take a gentle neck stretch. So maybe reaching to one side of the head. Fingertips are long. Gentle stretch one way. Gentle stretch the other. And then neck rolls all the way around. And then shift. Cool down however you like. And just know, practice, practice, practice. It's a fun posture. And it's one that you can kind of infinitely tweak and change, even once you're in it. It's a great place to be, a great place to learn, and a great place to always bring your practice. So thank you, yogis. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.